Hey comments and welcome to Telescope Talks, a podcast from Palomar Student Newsroom. I'm Layla, staff writer here at the Telescope.
And I'm Leah, Ertel. Today we are going to be talking about the current events that have been happening recently, mostly political, but also just not only just our current states, but censorship. Our main focus on this topic is censorship. We're seeing just a lot of political unrest on both sides. Both sides are experiencing censorship from Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old who was assassinated just for speaking his mind, his views, and Jimmy Kimmel, who went on his show and got canceled because he also spoke his mind on The View.
So Kimmel took it to his authority to bring up what had happened that following week on September 10th. Mm-hmm. Political conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated at age 31 at Utah Valley University.
Yes.
He was assassinated while practicing his First Amendment right, freedom of speech. I believe that this is, obviously it's shocked the United States. Charlie Kirk was very huge, especially in, the college age group, because he went around speaking about, Christianity and, conservativeness. And a lot of people, were inspired by that. So he had a very big audience. So this was a big shock to the world.
Absolutely. He was 31 too. And so he really he went around the colleges. He could relate, he got Gen Z excited about things and realizing their views and being able to talk about their opinions.
Yeah. And I have seen, like I said, he's a pretty popular guy. So before, his passing, I would see him come up on my social media. Mm-hmm. And, I've seen him talk to a pretty diverse range of people. I would say that he is a very strong, conservative and Christian, but I also believe that he gave, any person of any color, of any sexuality, a chance to, speak their truth. Yeah. And I think that's important, especially because that's not given a lot. Whether he didn't agree, he was still giving that pedestal to these students.
Absolutely. He had some sass, but, he didn't discriminate. Literally, his whole method was an open mic. He gave them a chance to prove him wrong, come up and explain why they think this. And then he just wanted to learn more because he always wanted to learn stuff. And, most of the time they couldn't, always defend themselves. But he gave them the chance. He gave them he let them utilize their freedom of speech to be able to explain, what they think, basically.
Yes, Leah, I completely agree. And I also would say that oftentimes I feel that, I get things that he said that, the things that he might say might be hurtful to some, and the way he might come off when debating might feel like maybe belittling, but
or insensitive.
Coming from someone who is kind of just an outside perspective, and I've seen, a conservative activist debate, and I've seen a liberal activist debate, and I can tell you that both are going to have that sass. Both are going to have that quick comeback because it's a debate. Exactly. Oftentimes, debates are not, kind of happy-go-lucky. Like you see with the presidential debates, you know what I mean? It's just kind of every debate. A debate is not supposed to be very comfortable.
People that came up to him to explain themselves are entering Charlie Kirk's realm of debate. It's controlled by him. So they're going to debate him, and then he's going to have the opportunity to, like you said, be able to give those comebacks, because it's controlled. It's in a controlled environment that he has. He knows what's going to happen, so he knows what he's going to say and be able to defend it.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just this, it's very interesting, an interesting dynamic to see, because with these last two, the Jimmy Kimmel and then the Charlie Kirk situation, you see that both sides, Kimmel and Kirk, were both in situations where they were expressing their First Amendment right, freedom of speech. Whether they were being watched, whether it was being streamed, they were both practicing their First Amendment right. Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting to see the backlash and, you know, the like scrutiny they're put under after, you know, doing something like that. And yeah, I don't know. I think it kind of lays out where we're at as a
country.
Nation. Yeah, country, literally.
I mean, it's like both sides have experienced this. One man was, you know, killed for it, and then on the right, and then Kimmel, who's expressed his views that he's on the left, has had his show taken off. So it's like both sides are not accomplishing their goal of trying to, you know, like agree to disagree, basically.
Yes. Both are being punished. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, of course, Charlie Kirk was assassinated, which that is something that is just personally, I don't like to see anybody pass away, especially in such a brutal way. And just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of gives me the chills because, you know, I'm the type of person, and I feel like, Leah, you are too, you know, I want to be able to express myself. I also want to be able to have a conversation with someone that I might not agree with all the things that they're saying.
But I don't have to fear for my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to have that conversation. I want the person who is expressing, you know, other values as me to feel heard as I want them to hear me. And I feel like that is what we're missing. And I feel like that is why we live in such a time where these are the outcomes of people expressing their First Amendment right, which is freedom to speech.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and people are going to be more likely to talk to you if you give them a chance to hear your opinions, and then they won't be more likely to listen to yours because you already established that like friendship, non-hostile environment.
Great point.
Yeah. And I mean, our country, our First Amendment right, that's what we fought for. I mean, breaking away from England, you know, because other countries like communist countries and even before our, you know, Declaration of Independence, it's like you could not say anything bad about the crown. You couldn't, and I mean, current days and other places, you can't say anything bad about the government that's being run because, I mean, they don't have the freedom to do it. So for here, America, for us to have that freedom and then to have things like this happen is kind of like we're reverting back to what we fought against, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like we've kind of just, you know, thrown away. We fought what we fought so hard for.
History is dooming to repeat itself.
Yep. History appears to be repeating itself over and over. And overall, this shouldn't be a time of, you know, anger or hatred towards anyone. It should be something that unites us all, because this separation is what is causing this kind of
hatred, evil, absolutely.
Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, to me, not letting someone, you know, say what their truth is, and that, and especially going as far as taking a man's life for expressing
because you don't like what he said.
That is evil to me. And it's just really crazy to see that, you know, this is what we've come to and this is what we are. And after such horrible things happening, you would hope that our community and our, you know, the people will unite and come together and, you know, instead of, you know, going against each other, you're wrong, I'm right. Let's just find a way to live amongst each other peacefully. Nobody has to be right or wrong.
We can agree to disagree.
Exactly. I think that is so simple yet so beautiful, and something that is clearly harder than it sounds, because we're having a very hard time with it.
And what doesn't help is when people go and use social media and the internet to like celebrate things like this, because it's like that side is grieving, it's like give them time to be like, oh my gosh, like process it. But like being able to like celebrate someone being killed, even if you don't like them, is just only adding towards just the division,
Yeah.
Like we're not getting any more closer to being connected. They're just driving the wedge into it more.
And it's just a repetitive cycle. Like
it is. When are we going to learn?
Yeah. When are we going to learn that, blaming aside and not really addressing the real problem, the root problem? Because it's very easy to blame, but what's not easy is to really go through the hardness of, being able to put your emotions aside.
Yeah.
And doing what is right for our overall country in general. Because, I don't know.
I mean, it goes down to the basic level. Like in every argument, you're not always going to like everyone, and you're not going to always like what everyone says, I mean, that's human nature. We're entitled to have our own opinions. We're entitled to disagree, but like fighting over things, I mean, yeah, that's many things, like different causes of wars, and I mean, disagreements happen, but like silencing somebody or just like not giving them the chance to express their opinions is causing harm, and it's causing just, our nation to tank. I mean, disagreements are like supposed to happen. I mean, it's like if we all thought the same, life would be boring, Being able to like have different viewpoints brings just new ideas, and it brings connection. It makes you like somebody because of this, even though they have this, or it's like, I don't like this about them, but I like this, it gives people character. It gives us, our nation's probably one of the most diverse places, just because of all of our different cultures and all the different things that other people bring to this one place, and then being able to just silence somebody just because you don't like it is not the way to go.
Yeah, we need democracy.
We do.
To have a good country, we need democracy. We need to be able to live alongside each other, knowing we do not have the same values, opinions, religion, because realistically, the person sitting next to you is not the one who is going to make those decisions for you. So why should you care what opinions and values and decisions they are going to make for themselves?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're sitting next to a politician, then that might be a little different, but
yeah, maybe not too literally, but yeah, and one thing that I know me and Leah both wanted to stress is because I think that these two current events that we talked about are a perfect example of where our country is at right now.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel, who was speaking out against the right, just got his long-term talk show, which I'm pretty sure was, his entire career, taken from him. So in result to talking about a current event and giving his opinion on it, he was punished and had his platform taken from him. And
he did say how, his opinion he expressed, which he does have a right to. It's his show. But he did mention how that because of Kirk's death, he says many in MAGA land are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Oh, wow. Who wrote that?
The APnews.com.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
and
a little insensitive, saying that those people are trying to capitalize, make money, social media, sell their paintings and their shirts and t-shirts after the death, and not really use it as a money-making opportunity instead of giving them time to grieve. But again, he does have a right to say that.
Yes, whether we were just expressing, whether we personally agree with it or not, he does have that right. He was not hurting anyone. He, that's his First Amendment right. And we, just need to learn to be okay with that. And
like, what happened to like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, It's like,
I actually say that a lot still.
Like, words hurt, but they're not gonna kill you, Truth hurts, but it's not gonna,
Words hurt, but believe in yourself and your values more.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you are comfortable with yourself and your values,
who you are, yes,
someone else should not make you question yours. And I think that's a big, beautiful point.
Absolutely.
And I also think that these last two current events we've talked about are just a perfect example of where our country is at right now. We have, a talk show host who has been doing this for years and has built a big reputation for himself, having his career indefinitely taken away from him after practicing his First Amendment right. And then we have a conservative activist who was also practicing his First Amendment right, who has now had his life taken from him. So at what cost can we have freedom of speech?
Simple. At what cost are like our words worth? Like, it's what I find in a way like almost hypocritical is it's like both sides, like, remember like when Trump was getting elected, people who voted for him or have businesses, one side didn't want to support that, and so they kind of slandered that. And now for this one, it's like they're for First Amendment, right? It's like they're like firing, like people are like bosses are firing people because they talk bad about him, about Charlie Kirk.
I have been seeing. I haven't like dug that deep on that specifically, but I have.
It's been circling around. Yeah, it's just like. Nothing is getting solved. They both kind of like, you reap what you sow,
So in 2025, do we really have freedom of speech, or is it just something written down on a paper that everyone's forgot about?
Exactly.
And, just kind of thrown in their back pocket.
I know. I mean, at this point, it's going to make people not want to speak and get more isolated and disconnected just because it's like, well, I'm going to get shot if I say something, or I'm going to get fired if I, express something.
We're being scared. We're being controlled. It's a way of control, I believe. Because it's like, if we know that there's a threat to saying something, of course we're not going to.
No. Yeah. Why would we?
If there's a threat where it's like, if you give your opinion on this and then you won't have a job or you get killed, I probably wouldn't give my opinion, because it's like what you said, at what cost?
Yes. I mean, like if we stay quiet, I feel like that would eat us up more, like that would cause more harm than good. Because it's like we're meant to express our viewpoints, our beliefs. We're meant to talk with people, I mean, we shouldn't be scared. We shouldn't be scared to be, for things to happen. Just do it because that hurts your soul more,
Personally, yes, that I do know, because that is how I feel. That's why I feel so honestly like sad for our country. Another reason why I feel like we are so it makes so much sense that we're like this, because we both are journalism majors, and it's just funny because we are literally instructed to like no bias. Like you report what happens, and then what the people do with it and what conclusions they come to is on them.
Yeah. But that's even hard to do, because it's like you want to put your own personality in it, your own slant to it, but you're like, nope, you gotta just give them the facts.
Yeah.
And let the people decide, which is good journalism. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Because it lets people create a non-biased, opinion on something. I like that.
Exactly. It helps strengthen their own opinions, Like that's what, even if you're listening to someone else talk, it's like you become smarter because you hear other people's viewpoints, and then you're like, oh, that's a good point, and how I can counteract that with my own point, It's all about strengthening your argument and your own beliefs.
I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think both of us can say that if we sat down with someone who had completely different opinions than us, both of us would want to hear those opinions, because we feel like it would strengthen, yeah.
But also I want to get to know the person, I want to see why you think this. Well, that's fascinating.
That's also what I mean by strengthen, though, because I feel that strengthening is being able to see your, feel the empathy from someone in their shoes. Like, I feel like that is strengthening you as a person, because it makes it not as easy to just be like, oh, well, I blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Rather than genuinely feeling, you know, like feeling the feeling that they are.
Yeah.
Or trying to, at least. Really putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yeah, if you can't even achieve empathy, sympathy at least. Just be like trying to understand where you come from, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. And what brought you to those beliefs. Well, thank you everyone for listening. This is Leah and Layla's first time on Telescope Talks. And so I think we did pretty good.
Yes, I really enjoyed this. Hopefully we will be back for more. And
stay tuned.
Yeah, thank you for listening to the current events here. Don't miss the latest from Palomar at thetelescope.com or our Instagram, _telescope.
Yes.
Thank you, Comets.
Bye. Go check it out.